Welcome to 45 on the Hour podcast. I'm your host today, Eric Medina. Today, Colt is not going to be with us today. He got caught up in work, but we got a local celebrity, a guest from my past, the King of Ventura, Mr. Kevin Crane. Hello, Kevin.
How's it going, man?
Good. Thank you for coming, Kevin. Kevin's my homie for a very long time. So many stories with you. But thanks for coming out. You're in Ventura. You're right up the road from us in Camarillo. How long did it take you to get here?
15 minutes.
Nice.
No traffic. Yeah.
When's the last time I seen you? Since we went fishing?
Yeah, fishing trip. The most abundant fishing trip ever.
So I know Kevin. Kevin is a champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, gi and no gi. In California, you're definitely a top guy. Everybody knows your name. Been competing white through black?
Yeah.
All right. You competed day one, won a lot of stuff coming up at the individual belts, right?
Yeah. My first big tournament that I won was probably the No-Gi Pan Americans.
Nice.
In New York as a blue belt.
Right on, man.
5 matches. Yeah.
So, like, Kevin, you are champion in every rule set, right? Sub only, gi, no gi. It's nice to have you here, dude. Me and you first met though in competition for a spot on Team USA for USA Grappling.
Yeah, and just knowing each other from the local Southern California circuit growing up.
But I don't think during that time, like, I knew you, nor did I talk to you.
Yeah.
At a certain point, I recognized you as, this guy's a competitor too, and he's doing it. You know, and that's how we know each other, just from the circuit, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know. Jiu-Jitsu is incredible. We've had a lot of adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Nikola Tesla's museum in Serbia. First trip overseas, competing for Team USA. To last month, fishing with Hoist Grayson on the boat. It's pretty incredible.
And now, congratulations, you're a school owner as well?
Yeah. Just opened up a school in Ventura, California, right there on the avenue.
What's the name of the school?
Studio 1997.
Studio 1997.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So the key is to help the community. You know, it's in the ghetto right there on Ventura Avenue.
Okay.
So
they need that. They need that, dude. Everybody needs jiu-jitsu. Like, you know, Kevin, you're gonna deal with some stuff, dude. Like, but you got it.
Yeah, I mean, jiu-jitsu saved my life. So
for sure,
if I can give back, then my life's fulfilled. You know, both my parents, drug and alcoholics, addicted. My whole life, you know, grew up in a troubled upbringing, and they were in and out of prison. My uncle became my legal guardian at age 8. And thank God I found Professor Fabio Leopoldo in Ventura in 2010 when I was 15. Keep me out of trouble, give me a new purpose in life for after football in high school. And he always told me, fuck football, you know, stick with jiu-jitsu and I'll make you a world champion. So winning the gold for Team USA in Spain in 2022 was like a big dream that I turned into a reality after 10 to 15 years of hard work.
I remember I was there. It was a beautiful moment. We were cheering in the stands. You know, I'm trying to remember that match. Were you already winning with like 10 seconds to go or something like that?
Yeah, I didn't have a single point scored on me.
Yeah, so Spain. Like it's close. It's like close, right?
Yeah.
So the match is close. We're all watching. The whole team is watching. At this point, the medal count is tight. You know what I'm saying? We're going for a team trophy. You need to win this one, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we're freaking going crazy and like counting down the seconds and like, damn, like, there's so much excitement. And I think at this point, we don't really know if you've won or not because the rules, the advantages type of deal, right?
Yeah.
But man, tell me what it was like to become world champion again.
Yeah, man. My uncle who raised me was dying, you know, that summer. And I just had lost in the finals of the first ADCC Open to Andrew Tackett. So I brought him back a silver medal and put it around his neck.
And Andrew Tackett's no slouch, man. Come on.
Yeah, just had that the most entertaining grappling match in history in the CGI in the $1 million tournament with the Ruotolo brother. And yeah, I was like, I got to win the gold for Uncle Mike before he dies, you know, because he always told me I was a born champion. That was like the positive enforcement that he always reinstilled into me. You know?
I see sometimes, you're on your workouts and really sometimes your quest, and you reference him. You say this one's for him.
Yeah.
Like, and that's very cool, man. That's not a that's beautiful that like you give it back in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the spiritual power is something I'm so fascinated with. It was his 1-year death anniversary back on September 5th, a little over a month ago. And 2 days after, I was like, oh, I didn't do anything special for his death. I was telling my girlfriend, Lauren. And then I realized that I bought 3 apple fritters that day, which were his favorite donut.
Okay.
And gave one to the 2. I went climb Mount Whitney with the 2 little pro surfers that are my prodigies and like my little mentors, or I'm mentoring them, and gave them an apple fritter, me an apple fritter, and just carb loaded, ate McGriddles and all this carbs and sugar and seed oils, to climb Mount Whitney the next day. And then I did it fasted the next day, 24 hours. And I tapped into this like frequency and energy, which you can only get to when you're fasted. You have so much clarity, your senses are heightened, and you're just connected with God or your higher power on a different intimate level.
I remember I haven't climbed so many mountains, right?
Yeah.
I've climbed my Mount Fuji.
Okay.
And that's in Japan.
Sick.
And this thing's a volcano. So you get into a little rhythm of just walking and just like, okay, it hurts a little, but I'm going. And then you get your breathing down and you tap into a moving meditation, a Zen mode, right? Sometimes you're just like, your body's just going.
Flow state.
And you're in your mind, figuring out some problems, the meaning of life, you would say, you know? And sometimes you tap into that moving meditation in like Jiu-Jitsu too, just rolling, figuring out some stuff. And, Kevin, I'm very happy to, you're in my life, dude. Sometimes you have a reputation, Kevin, sometimes you seem a little rough around the edges. I know that you've been there for some crazy stuff too, but overall, man, I've always seen you conduct yourself with a lot of dignity. I remember one time we were in, maybe we were in Serbia. Maybe we weren't. I don't know where we were. We were in Serbia, maybe. And this guy was part of our team, and he yelled out, like, France, you're gay, or something. France, you suck. And we're sitting there in a whole nother country, and this guy's with us. We all know each other loosely, but here he is talking his mouth, saying nonsense. And I remember we all turned around and we're like, hey, shut up. Like, don't ever speak like that again. Like, what's wrong with you? Boom. Like, friggin' 5 people turned and snapped on that guy. Some people didn't, but you were one of the 5 that turned with me, And to be a black belt is more than just your technical skills on the mat. We both believe in that. And whether some people do or do not, we operate in a different way. And it's cool to see like another samurai out there doing it. You give your love to Fabio. Like that name is very important here in Ventura, and you're doing it. The UWW is going on right now. Me and you are both not doing it.
Yeah.
You are returning champion. I'm returning bronze place medalist. And I feel that my duties here at the academy have taken me largely out of competition, and I don't know if I'm as sharp as I once was. Still sharp enough to teach and have a world-class academy. And I have a student there that's competing right now, like hand trained, like got her ready, and she's in it. So I don't know what I'm doing right now. Nogi Worlds is coming up. I have a Nogi Worlds title as well. Like, my body feels good, but I have not been training how you've been training. And that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about like your training regimen, your cross training, what you do as well to maintain this?
Yeah. I've adopted a lot of David Goggins' beliefs, and philosophies on training as far as just pushing yourself to the absolute brink of exhaustion and like limit. I did a 100-mile run back in 2021 and did a documentary, 100 miles or die. Mm-hmm. So that's the mindset that I cultivated, or die, because when you're willing to face the biggest fear, which is everyone fears death.
Wow.
You can accomplish stuff that you never could before fathom.
You're willing to die to pursue this dream.
Yeah, to finish the 5-minute match. If you choose just to die, you're going to be fine. You're going to be tired, and out of breath, and you might have your arm or ankle snapped, but you're going to persevere.
Now this gets into living with a better life, though, too, right? Because there's other things you put in yourself to become that person.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and that's not so easy to do. You live a healthy lifestyle. What kind of food do you put in your body?
I try to do the animal-based diet 90% of the time, and then 10% of the time just whatever, it's life, but organic, grass-fed beef, fish, meat, high-quality meats, and then fruit and honey.
Nice.
Yeah. Like today I was going to fast a little bit because I cheated and had some Indian food last night from my childhood friend. The garlic naan and all this.
That's delicious, though.
Yeah, it's incredible. You got to eat. You got to eat for purpose, not pleasure. Like a monk, if you want to be a world-class athlete.
So when you talk like that, whatever we eat, we use in our body the next training.
Yeah.
And I'm naturally lean, kind of like nibble here and there, but I have like a nice dinner when I go home.
Yeah.
I also don't rev my engine as much as you do.
Yeah.
Or maybe I do in a different way. But I do remember a time in my life where the running, the conditioning allowed me to just be in an overall better shape than my opponent.
Yeah.
And maybe have access to another gear, and that's very useful too, to sense when somebody is ready to break and then go for the kill. That happens when you have supreme conditioning. We were recently in a cool little situation where we met the same person, Professor David Dunn, one of my instructors, and he was organizing this black belt fishing trip. And it just so happens that you two were giving the same student a lesson.
Yeah, we both have the same, give private lessons to the same guy.
Mm-hmm. And so you heard
shout out Stock Market Wolf.
Shout out Stock Market Wolf.
Andrew Diaz, he's the man.
Right on. We got to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, his dad's in surgery right now, so if you guys can say a prayer.
Okay.
I saw that he posted that earlier.
So Professor David, to me, he's trained me all my career. I've known him forever. And he's a legit champion as well. I believe he's a IBJJF Masters champion.
Oh, wow.
And he put together a fishing trip last year. Last year, I wasn't able to go, and my trip rolled around to this year. Last year, they didn't catch any fish. This year, how many did we catch?
I think 39. Everyone got their limits. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Over their limit. Yeah.
I've never been, I would fish as a little kid and stuff with my dad, but I've never been deep sea fishing. I got seasick that first night. I was puking over the railings, and I think that night you were the only one to catch a fish.
Yeah, I was on it, straight Navy SEAL mission, no sleep, catch these fish and accomplish the mission, so a lot of instant coffee and water and nonstop, like be ready on the go. And it was cool to catch the first one and set the tone.
It was cool, dude. I was really looking forward to the trip. I got happy when I found out you were going to come with me. Yeah. So we made a quick plan to drive together. You came to my house and then we drove to San Diego. The drive was easy. It was fun, dude. We were already in like a high energy state, and we were just talking this trip up. How it was gonna, dude. It was a badass trip, wasn't it?
It was,
dude.
High frequency fishing,
we talked it up. It was so cool to meet Hoist, Master Hoist, and we. By the way, like we never called him Hoist, as Master Hoist. Like this man. I tried to speak to him in a way of like, thank you so much for what you've done for me in my life. Like without him, I wouldn't be here. He put jiu-jitsu on the map, and
incredible.
He said it was through the foresight of his father and his family. And, like he gave it right back to jiu-jitsu. It's the strength and the power of jiu-jitsu. And that was cool to hear.
Yeah. Super humble. Yeah.
Conducted himself as a warrior king the whole time. First thing he said, no drinking, right?
Yeah.
No drinking on the. He was like, all right,
He
like,
doesn't drink.
what did he say? He never really said like, this is not a party boat, right? But he said like,
Just his aura and his energy, you know.
So then, right away, like we talked to ourselves. We're like, okay, me and you are not drinking, right?
Yeah. No way I was gonna have a sip of alcohol in front of the master.
Exactly. So then now, like, okay, like, so now he's also watching and seeing who's a black belt and who's not, right? And so then me and Kevin know this life. We snapped to real quick. And did you get to spend any time with him alone, Kevin?
Yeah, a little bit at nighttime or in the galley. Yeah.
And we're talking about, Master Royce Gracie, UFC champion 1, brought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as we know it to the United States. This guy is it probably would be impossible to get to him any other way. And here we are in like the ocean, like one-on-one with him, each pursuing our life with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I'm like, master, like we see how it does for you. Like how will it be for us? And when I spoke to him, what he told me though was like, what is your definition of training? And there was a couple of us there, and one guy, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to say the wrong answer. Now I'm watching these other guys, right? And he said, well, my definition of training is rolling. And the host was like, no, like my definition is different. When I wake up in the morning, when my eyes open, like that's my training. I'm already in the mode. And, it doesn't end until the moment I close my eyes. Boom. He is Master Hoist 24/7. There is no break. He is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Pretty incredible to hear him say that, and talk about how the Russians aren't the most technical or fancy style, but they just outwork everybody. They don't care about their mom's birthday, their daughter's birthday, what event's going on, what barbecue or whatever, social gathering. They're there training, and that's like the Kobe Bryant mentality. Time plus energy equals your results. So if you put more time and energy, not just physically doing it, but thinking about doing it nonstop, obsessing over winning or whatever the goal is you want to achieve.
Visualizing.
Yeah, visualizing you're going to outpass everyone and be the best, because you're putting more time and energy. The universe and God's going to reward you as becoming the champion.
And we have to walk the path too. This is another thing too, like to ask of that, you have to be a person worthy of it. This is hard too, I got sick that first night, Kevin, and I'm trying to think of whether or not I got sick after you made me eat the fish heart.
Probably, yeah.
The first night,
your little pussy stomach couldn't handle it.
The first night, I was like, I don't know, I don't feel good, and I couldn't find my medication, and I was like, Kevin, like, where's the motion sickness medication? And
Dramamine.
I was starting to feel it then, dude. We had already driven out a bunch. I slept. It was boring, right? It was boring for a while. You were the first person to catch a fish?
Oh, yeah. Made you write down in the journal, manifest big bluefin tuna. You got to attract them.
And what time was it? It was late.
9:30 at night.
9:30 at night. You're the first one to catch a fish. All right. We all see it. It's pretty dope. There's excitement. And then we got to eat the heart.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how fast Jared, the deckhand, pulled that thing out. He's like, "You want to eat the heart?" I looked away and then looked back, and it's in his hand.
So is that the the tradition? That is what
the first tuna you catch. Yeah, you're supposed to eat the heart.
Wow.
I would eat every single fucking heart. The power and the vitality in that thing and the nutrients. I mean, I guess it could have parasites because it hasn't been brought down to below 37 degrees. So that's the only danger.
That is a risk, right? But
yeah.
But here we are. To bite into something that powerful, that muscly, that like and you just fought it too.
Yeah.
It is a kill or be killed. I'm gonna eat you or you're gonna flee. I didn't have that experience catching the fish later on. I did. And it was definitely a very primal thing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Even when we get it to the side, it's still a battle. Here comes the deckhand with I forget what the name of the gaff, right?
Yeah.
And like they got to hit it just right, pull it up, put it out of its misery, you know? And then we have fresh kills, you know, food in the fridge. It is very cool, dude. Very effective. And I think I was the first one to catch a tuna the next day.
Sick.
Right?
Yeah.
So then I'm flying high. It was cool. It was happiness.
Yeah.
And I'm proud that I got one. At this point, there's a couple fish on the boat too. A lot of rockfish. I didn't catch any of those. We moved to a new site. And then friggin' all hell breaks loose.
That's when the abundance really started.
Oh, man,
just fish
dude.
after fish for those 2 hours. It was
You
incredible.
throw it in there, you catch another one.
Yeah.
My arms are so tired. I'm like reeling, now we have to use proper technique on it, balancing, thrust your hips forward, align yourself with the fish, boom.
Yeah.
Here you come over here across me, here you come here over here under me. We're attached to this you know, crazy an animal fighting for its life out there, doing every turn it knows, you know, trying to fight, and we have to outlast it with leverage, with balance, with base, right? And then here it comes over here, fronting this way. Got to know when to move, when to fight. And man, it was gnarly. You know, I've never experienced that.
Yeah.
Cool. Caught one. I'm happy. I'm tired. Throw it back. Oh, another one and another one. And here comes everybody else. Fatigue. Now the whole boat is tired. There's excitement. We're going. But the fish keep piling up. That was crazy too. The deckhands were on it. And now it was cool, dude. I remember I spent maybe 30 plus minutes with Hoist, me and him. And he's fighting this fish for like a long time. And I see him fight it. And he's moving and we're right here. And I'm like, all right, you got it, Master Gracie. And he's like, oh, this guy's tough. And dude, he pulled it up. I saw it. They went to get the gaff. Something happened. It was a huge one. It had to be 100 pounds. It got away. It got away right there. And I just remember like, dang, like that was dope. Like he fought it. He got away. And Master Hoist was happy too. You know?
Yeah.
He was in the mat. He enjoyed the fight.
Yeah.
What a beautiful trip, dude. Kevin, right now, what is your, I guess I would say like your commitment to the next part of your life?
To give back and to be of service and to inspire, motivate, and create, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time when I did a community outreach through Beat the Streets, youth wrestling. It was awesome. And I got so much out of it. You have your academy now. You could try to create a program, maybe a nonprofit of some sort, maybe not, you know, because I also feel sometimes if you give something for free, these people do not know the value of it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I've been teaching for free the last like month or two, and I started to realize that.
Okay, that's something different.
Yeah.
You know, that's something different. There's a pros and a cons, and I believe in giving back.
Yeah.
I have also gotten, and I believe in that mindset too, right? So try to find some type of program. Is there anything like that you're aware of, or, you know?
Yeah, I'm in the works of finishing a nonprofit.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, that way all these billionaires can start to donate and help all these kids, you know, all the at-risk youth.
That would be a nice segue.
Yeah,
okay.
Sponsor them, get them gear, sign them up for tournaments, give them a healthy outlet. And martial arts is incredible. You know, the fitness industry is huge, but martial arts is just a whole another level.
So Kevin, you were, would you say like a football star?
Yeah, I was Ventura County Defensive Player of the Year.
Awesome. I mean, that's amazing.
Senior,
that's amazing. And so you had this direction and you went with this way of the martial artist, right? You are now pursuing MMA?
Yeah. I fight MMA professionally. It's just been tough the last 5 or 10 years pursuing MMA because there's no real big MMA academies in the 805, like at the professional elite level. So I've traveled to Las Vegas and you know, Mexico.
I've also heard of people traveling far from here, like, you know, from this area, Camarillo, Oxnard, Ventura, to go all the way to Long Beach for their training. Yeah,
I used to commute to Huntington Beach 3 days a week, to train with Rafael Cordero, and at the time they had 2 UFC champions, you know. So.
But that's what you're after, you know. You know, the best want to train with the best. This is like a real, once you could afford certain things, like now I don't skimp on what I put into myself.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to get out of it. I need certain things. Kevin, sometimes you turn me on to like proper nutrition. Can you speak on like the tuna that we caught and like what's good for you? And
Yeah, the 100-mile run taught me a lot about nutrition and hydration because you have to stay up to date on your electrolytes the whole run and stay fully carb loaded, So, because
your body is using what you're putting into it at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, during those events, you can eat McDonald's pancakes, peanut M&Ms, licorice. I had fruit roll up in my pockets.
Just calories.
Your
body's
gonna
use it.
White sugar. Yeah, they drink Coca-Cola and it just instantly transfers to glycogen. Super high glycemic carbs. But you get really in tune with your body. Because you just have to keep the gas tank full, and it's translated huge to my MMA and Jiu-Jitsu competing and cutting weight. And obviously, you're not doing an insane endurance event during these matches. You might submit the guy in 10 seconds. So how much glycogen do you really need? So now I like to carb load the night before and then fast during the tournament.
So this is something too that you're not a skinny guy.
No,
you're powerful. You move quick. You have endurance.
Yeah,
you have breathing. Like what else? How else can you invest in yourself? The body is finite. Talk to me about the amount of energy you put into your technique and your physical training.
Yeah. I mean, there's all those studies about how powerful visualization is. You can get 90% of the same results just by visualizing a perfect free throw or a perfect baseball hit or punch, kick, jiu-jitsu move. So lately I've been trying to not train as much physically, because I'm a berserker. I'm a wild man. I like to train hard and fight to the death. And even Julian said to me the other day, like, dude, we need to train harder for 5 minutes.
When you guys, this is crazy that we have a tournament here downstairs, right?
Yeah.
And friggin' top 10 guys are competing in the finals, right? It was you, Julian, who's now part of Team USA. Friggin' shout out to Dr. Julian. Hopefully he gets a gold medal out there.
Yeah.
What was that Brazilian's name?
I'm not sure.
But that guy's a friggin' beast. And I looked him up. He was winning everything too.
Yeah.
So
super tough.
So you got like in this area, the 805, you have champions.
Yeah.
That was crazy to see you guys. You guys went at it 2 times that day or 3?
Yeah, twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
Definitely want to like do something to highlight a match like that or do something better.
Yeah.
In the next couple of years, dude, I know your academy is going to take off. Like we talked, I was like, Kevin, like, let's do something together. Let's, let's have a friendship. I wish you the best. If you ever want to use my school for something, like we'll figure it out, because there's enough for everybody. And like, I know your school is going to be crazy. I know you're going to have a good time as being an instructor. But I know that as I've spent more time in my school as my instructor role, like the edge of my sword has gotten dull. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to make it happen, and always the best way for me is to bring the training to me, So I want to start to put together a little camp, dude. We have Nogi Worlds coming up in December. Also, I feel very guilty, and you tell me some stuff every once in a while for not doing the trials this year, because we see some people that I'm very competitive with doing well. And I'm like, oh man, things could have been a little different if I just signed up, because I was there to coach too,
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough. Shout out to Rachel Carmen. She's out there. She's competing. She took second place in the trials, earned her way. And I think next year I'm going to bring a squad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I could see you bringing a squad. And we get out there. It's definitely something that, in order to do a goal like that, though, the training needs to start very soon.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of kids. We have a lot of students. Can make it happen.
Yeah, I think Dan Gable was running the night he won the gold medal. And they're like, why are you running? He's all, I'm training for the next Olympics.
Wow.
4 years.
The goal to be the greatest of all time.
Yeah. that's the mindset and the intensity that you have to never let up on and always practice and exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. Yeah.
Dan Gable, Kevin, I came through wrestling. You came through football. What did you think of wrestling? How could a coach have gotten you on the wrestling mat?
I went to high school in Ohio at Nordoff, and they put the wrestling mats down just in an empty classroom. It wasn't the best wrestling program at the time, not a lot of funding. So
Wrestling doesn't do a good job of selling itself,
yeah,
prettying itself up to make it look appealable. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
likes that about itself.
yeah,
It's like a hidden one.
yeah,
That's not the best either. You want as many people knowing about it as possible,
yeah,
right? And then like to pick and to have that cream of the crop be around,
yeah. Maybe if they just wore board shorts instead of the singlets.
You think the singlets would help? Okay. I mean, or the changing of the style,
Yeah,
you know?
get rid of the headgear, get a little more primal in there.
Okay.
Yeah, take off the shoes.
I want to be the bridge between wrestling and jiu-jitsu here,
Yeah,
because I'm still a high school and college wrestling coach.
yeah,
And like, I value that. I also value the guard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
how can I build a complete grappler, a 360, like all around gi and no gi grappler?
Yeah, hybrid.
Do you think that's the hybrid, or do you think that's what it is? Because I think same as you just came up doing both of them, gi and no gi.
Yeah,
There was no distinction. You just trained both.
yeah,
We are champions in both. This is another thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a no gi grappler. I train the gi every day, every chance I get.
yeah,
I have gi titles as well. So it took longer. I would say it's harder, right?
the gi.
Well, to do both.
Oh yeah, to do both, to be at an elite level in both. Yeah.
Crone speaks on this. Have you heard what he has to say?
No.
Crone Gracie, I believe he said something about like, man, I don't have the code in front of me, but just about recently, the correct thing is to train both.
Yeah.
And it might take longer. I don't know. Actually, scratch that.
Yeah, they both complement each other. When I go back to training the gi, I'm like, wow, I can control this guy so easily.
It's important. I think it's important to
you got
do
all these
both.
grips. Yeah, it's so much easier to pass, and then once you get the back or the mount, it's a lot easier to control the position. No gi, you can get away with making all those mistakes and be able to replace your guard fairly easily.
The athleticism of no gi does make it a little bit more of a. You have to be in your physical best shape.
Yeah, more cardio, more dynamic movement.
The right weight class.
Yeah.
Gi, I feel you could change it up quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know,
use the guard and the collars and lasso guard. Tie up bigger opponents, get sweeps easier.
A little more strategy.
Yeah.
A slower pace.
More methodical.
Black belt match, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We do 5-minute rounds here every day. That's for those of you who don't know, white belt matches, you typically 5 minutes.
Yeah. You should switch them to 10.
We started to experiment with 5,
yeah,
6, 7,
yeah,
8, and then finishing off with some 10-minute rounds.
Nice.
There is like beauty in the long game, but you can't be a slouch, dude, because you'll get ran over in that first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know. That sports psychology is so fascinating finding that perfect arousal,
Football and wrestling both have the clash. You have to learn the clash. Okay.
Yeah.
You could clash or you could get out of the way.
Yeah.
Find your little opening there. Forward. For football and wrestling, both first step forward.
Yeah.
I never did football. I thought it was cool, but I was always too small.
Yeah.
So I got into wrestling. My dad had wrestled and I loved it. I loved it all enough to wrestle through high school and college. And then I got into jiu-jitsu. At John Jocks, we train gi every day. There is no gi. Cool. If you wanted to do no gi, you would just take off the gi afterwards. But I came from college wrestling. So it was hard for me to play the guard.
Yeah.
Why would I? I could just take anybody down.
Yeah.
And that worked until I met higher level people who could negate that. And I don't think until purple belt I started to appreciate the guard.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm a knucklehead too, dude. I believed full power until I had to have a mindset switch.
Yeah.
And now I love the guard, but I also love wrestling. the ability to pick and choose how I might defeat this person. You know, what are your thoughts on like standing, staying on the mat, all that stuff?
Yeah, my style is super unorthodox, you know? I love the submission only, no time limit, where you have to, like, pace yourself and don't have to rush and can kinda, try to set traps to have your
Hmm.
opponent fall in and then win by submission that way. And after doing the 100-mile run, I was competing for, the promotion high rollers, which was submission only, no time limit. So I was ready to fight for, 24 hours if I had to and win the game of patience.
And when you say that, like you're competing in Las Vegas,
Yeah, Las
so
Vegas.
it's a show. There's
Yeah.
lights. There's all sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of distractions going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You said that you hung out with like Tyrone Woodley.
Yeah, the last podcast I was on was with Wiz and Tyrone Woodley, and
Oh man, that's awesome.
yeah,
You know, like that's not something that you could just create.
yeah,
You know, it's like you're on the wave, you're riding it, you're doing it, and you're experiencing like all these beautiful things that like life has given you.
yeah,
You know, and then we're back on the mat. You know, this is like our discipline, this is our lifestyle, and we've both gotten so much out of it.
yeah,
And you know, it's cool to see you succeed, dude, because like I know it's not easy.
yeah.
And you know, you're out there, Kevin, you're doing it. Do you have any matches going lined up right now or
Uh,
anything that you got on the calendar?
yeah, I was looking at November 16th to make my return to MMA at the
Okay.
Ford Arena in Houston, Texas, but I just injured this rib, so all I can do right now is really run.
Right
So
on.
can't grapple, I can't even really show techniques. So just gonna heal up, get it back to good health, and then look for something.
What happened with the rib? What was the injury?
I got my first body triangle finish, so that was pretty rad.
Okay.
Yeah, all the running and leg workouts have been paying off. But I don't know. I just like I took the guy's back or Huchimata and felt like a rubber band like snap.
All
So,
right. Maybe an overstretch.
yeah, some cartilage
Yeah.
or separated rib.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Um, you know, training every day, being gentle to your body, like injuries happen, accidents happen. Um, my best type of warm up I love to do is if possible, I like to hop in the pool.
oh yeah,
Yeah, and get all my muscles together and have everything work together a couple rounds, you know. I'll definitely start off like with a lot more defense oriented positioning
yeah,
and then increase to my offense,
yeah.
you know.
Turn up the intensity.
Turn up the heat, yeah.
Yeah,
At the end of the night, that's usually my best training because I could spend the rest of my energy.
yeah,
Um, but sometimes that's hard to do. A student wants to talk to you. You got to sign somebody up. Like here comes
Yeah.
this. You have a phone call, and you're like, "Oh, I have some energy left. Everybody's leaving.
yeah,
You know, okay, like sometimes like that's a hard way to end the night. You know,
yeah. The mindset between student and instructor is so different. You know, like when I teach class, I kind of can't really. And then the open mat comes or the training. It's hard for me to like flip the switch and want to like kill everybody because I'm there as like the head instructor, you know?
you have to have certain days for that for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes too, I don't really trust people to oversee my training.
Yeah.
And it's not like I want to say that our sport we take a lot into consideration somebody's championships or accolades, right?
Yeah.
So like if you don't have the same level, I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? If you don't have the body I have, if you don't have the work ethic I have, if you're not a champion the way I'm a champion, I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Being on my own, being away from my instructor, sometimes it's difficult. But I know that the little game plan that I have that makes champions also works for me.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to hop in and have like the autopilot take over, right? And then get good rounds with my top guys and have certain goals for myself. Boom, I'm going to mount this dude. He doesn't know it, but I know it. The training is like, I'm not happy till I mount this guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, why are you coming after me? It's like, dude, like you are not fighting me the same way I'm fighting you.
Yeah.
You need this. You're going to figure this out. Can you talk about like mindset in jiu-jitsu? If there's any correlation to how your mental talk is in the 100-mile endurance events? Because I imagine when you're tired and you're in your head, sometimes doubt pops in. Is this a yes or no?
Yeah. Yeah. Fear
right.
and doubt are just thoughts that are put in by the devil constantly for the rest of your life. Every day you have to defeat those demons, you know. The doubt and the fear is all bullshit. It's an illusion. It doesn't even exist.
But it's some weird thing that we have inside of us that
these limiting beliefs.
To go beyond a limiting belief, though, that's a beautiful feeling, right?
It's the best feeling in the world,
and that's what we're like. How can we do that? How can we inspire? And when you're chasing a goal that other people also have, to be a champion, other people have that goal. How can you knock them off? How can you get a 1-over? How can you be greater than them? It's a beautiful thing that makes us better people, right? The competition, the slap hands. Some people could go their whole life, their whole career without ever competing. And I get that. That's cool. That's not for them. But I'm so glad I did, because it brings out another side of me that is for the better.
Yeah, it's a vehicle. It's a tool. It's for self-development and self-mastery, you know? That's what we're all on the journey for.
I'm glad I found that. You know, I'm glad you found that, Kevin.
I'm so happy and grateful. Last night I was crying the whole run to the cross. So I was like, dude, I'm fucking back, you know? Being able to run up a mountain and not get tired. Your heart's in condition. Your legs are in condition. You're just at this high frequency, high vibration. You're the state of gratitude is the most powerful vibration, because you can never have anxiety, never be depressed. You're just so grateful just for the breath. You know, that running, the jiu-jitsu, it's forced presence. Surfing.
I am guilty of sometimes I think it's just stupid thoughts. I deserve this.
Yeah.
Like I do enough. All sorts of nonsense.
Yeah.
No way. Get out of here, dude. I'm happy to be here. I love my students. I love my school. Like, I got it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very grateful. I'm thankful for my body. Right. Stay, you know, stay together. I'll baby you too. You know, this journey that we've been on. I don't want to do it a disservice either.
Yeah.
Like, do I have a little bit more to give?
Always.
Oh man. All right.
Yeah.
When that happens, though, you start to give more of yourself. It's a crazy ride too, you know?
Yeah. Last summer I was like, fuck this. I quit my job and was like, I can't be doing tree work all day. I'm the defending gold medalist for Team USA. I have to win, you know?
You have to go all in.
Yeah.
Dude.
I got pressure. I mean, when am I going to get this opportunity again? Maybe never, you know? The meteor might hit Earth, might explode, might die from a car accident. You never know, you know? So I started treating every day like it was my last day alive, you know? What would I do? I'd go all in, give everything that I had, training 4 times a day, sauna, cold plunge in between, fast, eat dates, honey, bananas all throughout the day, and then feast, have a pound of grass-fed ground beef and 12 eggs at night.
You have all that tuna now.
Yeah.
You know, you're turning me on to that. Like, you know, I enjoy also eating healthy now and having that little bit.
Yeah.
I know my body. Okay. I know if I eat healthy, I got a little more oomph, a couple more sprints in me. And evidently my jiu-jitsu increases.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The tuna is like a superfood for your brain too. All those healthy fats, they make you smarter, you know? And, I've done so many, I made so many mistakes in my past, you know, alcohol, drugs, smoking weed here in California, you know?
There's certain things that we put into our body that we shouldn't put into our body.
Yeah.
Kevin, you know, what's the 5-year plan?
The 5-year plan is to get in the most incredible tip-top physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual shape and win the UFC title, to use my story to inspire people, you know, to never give up on their inner childhood dream.
Man, that sounds like an amazing goal, and definitely doable, definitely possible, my guy.
Yeah.
Kevin, where can we find you? Where tell me about your school. What's your tags, everything?
Yeah, you can find me running around the city of Ventura up to the cross every day. But yeah, I have the school, 591 West Ventura Avenue, Studio 1997. And on Instagram, Kevin, remember the name Crane. And I also still train 3 days a week at Morambi Academy in Ventura with my master, Fabio Leopoldo.
Cool, man. Thank you very much for being here. We're gonna touch base soon. If you are in the Ventura County area, please hit up Avenue 1997. Studio. All right. For Colt, in honor of Colt, get up, get after it, and get some.
Fuck yeah. Stay hard.